my name is Isabella Sarna and I'm the Cybersecurity Specialist here at Cylance PT. So in this Tech Byte we'll be looking into our Security Operations Centre. In our SOC we have a number of solutions that we provide. We have Tenable, Cylance, Proteus and Claroty CTD. Tenable OT Security is an industrial security solution for the modern industrial enterprise. Tenable OT Security gives your organisation the ability to identify your assets, communicate risk and prioritise action, all while enabling IT and OT teams to work better together. Tenable OT Security offers comprehensive security tools and reports for your IT and OT security personnel and engineers. It provides unmatched visibility across IT and OT operations and delivers deep situational awareness across all global sites and their retrospective assets from Windows servers to PLC, backplanes and in single interfaces. Here is a demonstration of Tenable OT. So the risk dashboard provides scores and vulnerability management metrics. So as you can see, we've got the highest risk asset, the risk statistics, most severe vulnerabilities, and we have vulnerability severity, asset by risk score, and asset criticality. You will see the risk dashboard. This provides insights onto the network's cybersecurity exposure by looking into asset risks. You can actually click on any of these assets and go into them, and it will give you more information about the vulnerabilities here. We move on to inventory. As you can see, the inventory dashboard, it shows widgets. So for example, the highest risk asset, the inventory statistics, the asset by risk, controller and modules by type, and asset by purview level. We scroll further down. And it's the same thing here. If we click on an asset, you can go into the asset for more details. So if we move on to policies, if you actually select one of the policies, you can go into it and it'll show you the information which shows the severity, the category, the status of the policy. You can then look into the triggered events and exclusions for this policy. So as you can see here, we've got the details and we then have our triggered events. You can see there's a spike in the conversation and you can drill into that data. If we go to inventory and all assets, this shows us all the assets on the network and it's got detailed data about each asset which is shown, enabling comprehensive asset management as well as monitoring of the status of each asset in its related events. You can select an asset to see more information. So if we select the top one here, we have the details, we have the IP trail, so you can drill down into that, the attack vectors, the open ports on that device, the vulnerabilities, the events, and whereabouts in the network map it may be. Below here is our network map. Now this is a map of the whole network, so if we just drill into a few of these, you can see where the purview level is in regards to the network. We go to vulnerabilities. This shows us a list of all the vulnerabilities detected by Tenable plugin that will affect your network and assets. So if we click into them, it shows us more information about that. You can see the affected assets, so we've got two here, and the details. Cylance PROTECT is an integrated threat prevention solution that combines the power of artificial intelligence to block malware infections with additional security controls that safeguard against script-based, fileless and memory, along with external device-based attacks. Cylance's unique artificial intelligence approach predicts and protects against known and unknown malware and zero-day payload executions. With low CPU, memory footprint, legacy platforms such as XP, and no signatures to update, Cylance PROTECT provides a best-in-class unified protection against malware, malicious scripts, and fileless attacks on your OT endpoints. Here is a demonstration of Cylance Endpoint, the dashboard at a glance, insights into the current protection level and threat detection. If we now go to Assets and Devices, this will give you a list of protected devices on your system. BlackBerry Cylance endpoint uses device policies to define how endpoints will be protected. So you'll see all the assets that are actually currently protected by Cylance, the agent version they're currently running, the zones they're in, and whether the policy is active. The zone is a logical grouping of devices. Typically, devices will be zoned together if you're intended to apply the same policies to those devices. I have a rule set up that any Windows device added to our demo automatically goes into our test zone, and other devices types are unzoned until manually assigned. So as you can see here, if we go to desktop, you can see the current version, we've got host names, we have the add zones section, any unsafe quarantine threats cleared, waived and abnormal. Below you will see if there's any threats activities as well. Now if we go to our zones, we can look at our test zone. You can see the rule for automatic zone assignment. You can also see that the policy is assigned to the zone. So this means that all devices that meet this rule criteria will automatically be zoned and have the active policy applied. Now if we're moving on to policies, so we go to policies and device policy. So policies are rules which are assigned to assets or zones and define the rules of engagement for the Cylance agent. If we now click into the active policy, we know this is applied to the zone that we just looked at previously. Within the policy is where we can actually define the way the endpoints are protected. So you can see we've got a few tabs here. We've got file action, we've got memory action, protection settings. So here's where you can kill unsafe running processes in their sub-processes. We have some optic settings. So we've got application control, which blocks any new applications from running on devices in this policy. We have the agent settings, we have script control, device control, and data privacy as well. As you can see, there are a large number of configurable elements within our device policy, and each of these can be tailored per zone. This means, for example, that you could restrict some of the devices to be single-purpose devices using application control. Other devices might need certain exceptions in place, while others, more critical devices, might be set to alert only and never to block the processes. These can all be applied per zone or per endpoint to allow highly granular control over the endpoint protection. So if we're moving into protection threats, you can see an overview of the identified threats prior to execution and that have been quarantined. So if we click into one of these alerts, you'll see the Cylance score for the alert. You can see the quarantine level across all the Cylance users worldwide. You can also choose to add the file to the global quarantine list or mark the file as safe if it turns out to be a false positive. Proteus image-based backup. We take a direct image of your system and store it, ready to go for a quick, full system restore should you ever need it. That means you always have a proven, fully working system ready to rely on. The virtualization. So first off, if there is a situation where you cannot get into your system or site, Proteus' solution allows you to manage and operate your business as usual from another device or location. With both local and off-site virtualization, our service allows you to get to work without experiencing downtime. So Proteus is one of our solutions. It's agent-based and agentless with VMware. So it's used in virtual environments along with physical servers and laptops. And there's logical full backups, only more incremented changes over the network saving bandwidth. This goes into our Proteus Vault, which converge backup server, backup storage, and local BCs, so this runs VMs in recovery scenarios directly on the appliance. We have DRAS, remote BC, and virtualization, so this is extended 24/7 business continuance and site recovery capabilities to any SMB and capabilities previously not possible without the expense of special hardware. This goes into our Proteus Cloud, and this is more efficient remote replication. So this uses an inverse chain technology, which allows flexibility, retention policies, and pruning. only replication desired data, so not chains of desirable data, not chains of dependent data either. Efficient remote replication leverages ZFS clones to remove backup dependencies, chains, and provides inline comparisons, snapshots, duplications, SSD, acceleration, and maximum data integrity protection. Claroty CTD. This solution empowers customers to reveal and protect their OT, IoT, IIoT assets, detect and respond to the earliest indicators of threats, and seamlessly extend their existing enterprise security and risk infrastructure. This also programs to harden their industrial networks. CTD extends the same controls IT security teams use to minimize the risks in IT environments to OT environments. These controls cover OT visibility and asset management, network segmentation, threat anomaly detection, remote incident management, scalable data management and control. Here is a demonstration of Claroty CTD. So on this dashboard you can see an overall hygiene score, asset count, the top insights into your industrial network, and any recent or high criticality alerts. Claroty primarily uses passive network monitoring to gather information about the devices on your network. Claroty can bolster this information with active information gathering to provide more granular levels of information. Using the gathered information, Claroty first builds an asset inventory. So if we go to visibility and then we go to our assets, you can see how Claroty helps us to identify the assets on our network and the vulnerabilities associated with them. So the asset list here has been built by exposing Claroty to the traffic on our network of industrial assets, just as it would happen in the real world. As Claroty builds the asset inventory, it learns more normal patterns of activity on our network and records this information with its baseline. The baseline will be used following the learning phase to detect and alert upon anomalous activity on the network. You can filter the list using the filters at the top of the screen. We will select high under the asset criticality. As you can see, the result is a list of PLCs which are always given a high criticality. Criticality rating is used together with other factors such as vulnerabilities and alerts when determining the risk score of an asset. Now if I type in the asset name 192.168.88.60, if we click on it, we can see that the system has passively identified a lot of the information about the asset. Now if we go to the Risks and Vulnerabilities tab, you'll see a breakdown of the asset risk score and how it's calculated. And if we click on the communications, you can see all of the data that's communicating with this device. If we go back to risks and vulnerabilities, at the bottom here you've got insights. Here you'll be able to find an automatically generated list of what Claroty has determined to be possible vulnerabilities prioritised in a traffic light system. And this is where Claroty can help you start securing your industrial network from day one after install. As you can see, we have one asset using an unsecure protocol, which is SSL and Telnet. Now moving on to threat detection and alerts. From day one, you will start to see the alerts for known threats. Once Claroty has completed a training period and moved on to operational mode, you'll start to see alerts come through for deviations from normal activity patterns. So if we click into 103 here at the bottom, so here you'll see a description of the alert and possible mitigation steps, the assets involved, and the events that are contributed to this alert. So if we show the indicators in the alert, this is the alert score section, and it will show you how the alert was scored and that's been derived. So if we click show indicators, in the alert score section we can see how the alert score has been derived. So looking into the root cause analysis, Claroty gives us a valuable insight into the timeline of the events. So as you can see, we've got a new conflict asset. This is a conflict with multiple assets on the network, and you've got this diagram here to show you how. You've also got mitigation steps, so this is the steps that will be needed to take next. As you can see, the root cause analysis has detected a new asset, and this conflicts with multiple assets. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or want to arrange a chat just to discuss what we've been through in this video, feel free to get in touch with us here at Solutions PT.